When I tell people how I found out, they always ask me why I didn't confront her right then and there. Why I didn't call her out, storm into that bar, or even just text her a screenshot of the video. But the truth is, the second I saw her face glowing in the neon light, spinning and laughing with a drink in her hand, I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not jealousy, just a cold, steady calm. Like I'd stepped out of my own body and was watching it all from above. It was a Thursday night. She had told me she'd be late at the office again, buried under end-of-quarter deadlines. I believed her, mostly because I wanted to. For months now, working late had become her favorite excuse. Sometimes it made sense, her job was demanding. Other times, I noticed the stories didn't line up. But I pushed those doubts down because I loved her, because I wanted our life together to mean what I thought it meant. That night, though, the truth didn't come from her. It came from her sister, of all people. I was on the couch, eating cold pizza, when my phone buzzed with a notification. Instagram. Her sister had posted one of those little vertical clips, a shaky video of the bar's dance floor. I almost scrolled past it. But then I saw her, my girlfriend, in the middle of the frame, laughing harder than I'd seen in weeks. Her hair swinging as she twirled in someone else's hands, a drink glittering in her other. The caption had nothing to do with her. It was just her sister showing off the fun night out, but it didn't matter. The lie was there, bright as the neon lights she danced under. I must have replayed that 10-second video 30 times. Each time, the same gnawing feeling hollowed me out. She wasn't at her desk. She wasn't staying late to impress her boss. She was in a bar, having the time of her life, while I sat at home waiting, thinking I was supporting her career. And here's the part one don't admit often. I didn't even feel heartbroken in that moment. I just felt tired. Tired of the excuses, the distance, the way she seemed to keep me on the outside of her life lately. It was like I'd been walking around holding a puzzle box that was missing just one piece, and that video, the casual betrayal in it, slid that last piece into place. But instead of firing off an angry text, I just sat there. The calm stayed with me. If I confronted her, she'd deny it, twist it, maybe even laugh it off. I'd seen her do that before, in smaller ways. So I decided not to give her the chance. Our anniversary dinner was only a few days away. Reservations were already set at the little Italian place where we'd celebrated our first year together. She'd picked out the restaurant herself, making a big deal about how 3 years was something to celebrate properly. And I realized that dinner was the perfect stage, the perfect chance to see how far she'd go to keep up her act. So I waited. The next few days were strange. She acted normal, even affectionate. She kissed me in the mornings, left her coffee cup in the sink like always, texted me little updates from the office. Every time my phone buzzed, I pictured her laughing at the bar again. I didn't mention it, didn't let it slip. I wanted to see how convincingly she could look me in the eye and lie. And in the quiet spaces, I started noticing more. Tiny things I'd ignored before. How she'd tilt her phone away when she typed. The way she brushed off my questions with vague answers. How often her late nights ended with her coming home smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't hers. It all piled up, brick by brick, until I was living in the shadow of a wall I hadn't realized was being built around me. The night of our anniversary finally came. I ironed my shirt, polished my shoes, and tried to steady my heartbeat. She came out of the bedroom in a black dress I'd never seen before, one that hugged her in a way that made me wonder who she had really bought it for. She smiled, slipped her arm through mine, and told me how excited she was for the evening. And I smiled back. Because tonight wasn't just about celebrating 3 years together. Tonight was about giving her the rope and seeing if she'd hang herself with it. The restaurant was softly lit, the kind of place where every table had a candle flickering in the center and the waiters spoke in hushed, polite tones. The kind of place that made you feel like everything happening there was important. Fitting, I guess, because to me, it was. She looked radiant across the table, smiling like she didn't have a secret in the world. The hostess had barely walked away before she leaned in, clasping her hands, and said, 3 years. Can you believe it? I nodded, studying her face. She had that glow she always got when she was in control, like she knew exactly how the night would play out. Yeah, I said, matching her tone. 3 years. The waiter came, rattled off the specials, and poured the wine she had picked out when she made the reservation. She ordered pasta primavera. I went with the steak. We clinked glasses. To us, she said. I raised mine too. To us. And there it was, the first lie of the night, wrapped neatly inside 2 words. The conversation was easy at first. She talked about her job, the pressure of the new clients, how she was juggling deadlines. She sprinkled in little complaints about her coworkers, the kind of everyday chatter that usually rolled right past me. But this time, I listened differently. Every time she mentioned late nights or the office, I pictured her spinning under those neon lights. I asked small questions, the kind she liked, letting her paint the picture. She was animated, convincing. Anyone watching us from the outside would have thought we were a perfect couple. But sitting there, I felt like I was watching a performance. Halfway through the meal, I leaned back in my chair and said casually, "So, how was Thursday night? You said you had to stay late, right?" She didn't blink. "Oh, brutal," she said immediately. "I didn't leave until after 10. My boss dumped a last-minute report on me." She sighed, rolling her eyes in that exaggerated way she always did when she wanted me to sympathize. I nodded, swirling the wine in my glass. "That sounds rough." She smiled, softened her voice. "But it's worth it, you know? For us. For the future. For us." The word stuck like a splinter. I let it go, though. I wanted to see how far she'd take it. So I steered the conversation toward memories. Our first trip together, the time we got caught in a rainstorm at the fair, the night we moved into our apartment. She laughed at all the right places, squeezed my hand across the table, told me how lucky she felt. And the whole time, I felt like I was sharing those memories with a stranger wearing her face. When dessert came, she excused herself to the bathroom. I sat there alone, watching the candle burn low, and thought about the video again. 10 seconds of truth, buried under hours of lies. She came back, still glowing, and slid back into her seat. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. I smiled faintly. "Just us." That seemed to please her. She reached across and touched my hand again, her thumb brushing my knuckles. "You know," she said softly, "I really think this year is going to be big for us. I can feel it." I almost laughed. A big year, sure. Just not the kind she imagined. The check came, and she reached for her purse in the half-hearted way she always did, knowing I'd cover it. I slipped my card into the folder and thanked the waiter. On the way out, she linked her arm through mine again, leaning her head on my shoulder as if the night had gone exactly as she hoped. But inside, my calm was sharpening into something else. Not anger, still not anger. Just certainty. On the drive home, she hummed along with the radio, scrolling on her phone between songs. She didn't notice me glancing at her reflection in the window, trying to memorize the look of someone who could lie so easily and still smile at me like nothing had happened. When we pulled into our driveway, she turned to me with that soft smile, the one that used to make my chest ache. "Happy anniversary," she whispered. I looked at her for a long moment before answering. Happy anniversary. And that was it. The curtain had closed on her performance for the night. But for me, it was just the intermission. Because I knew, without a doubt, that the next act would be mine. That night, I lay awake beside her, listening to the rhythm of her breathing as she drifted into sleep. She looked peaceful, as if the evening had cemented everything she wanted me to believe. 3 years together, a nice dinner, a whispered happy anniversary. To her, the story was still intact. To me, it was already over. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about that video, 10 seconds long, but sharp enough to cut through everything I thought I knew. And I knew if I didn't say anything, if I just let it slide, I'd never be able to look at her the same again. I'd spend every day wondering if working late was really work, if out with friends meant out with someone else. I'd rot from the inside out, waiting for the next little truth to slip through the cracks. So I decided I wouldn't confront her in anger. I wouldn't scream or accuse. I'd do what she had been doing. Keep my voice calm, my face steady, and let the truth do the work. The next evening, I asked if we could sit down together. She looked surprised but agreed, curling up on the couch with a glass of wine. "What's on your mind?" she asked, her tone light, like she thought maybe I was about to talk about moving forward, buying a house, maybe even a ring. I sat across from her. My phone was in my hand, the video already pulled up. I watched her face as I hit play. The glow of the screen lit up her features as her sister's shaky camera panned across the bar, landed squarely on her dancing, laughing, drink in hand. She blinked. For a moment, I saw confusion, then recognition, then panic. She set her glass down too quickly, wine sloshing against the rim. Where did you get that? She asked, her voice suddenly sharp. Your sister posted it, I said evenly. Thursday night. The same night you told me you were stuck at the office until after 10. Her mouth opened, closed. She reached for the easy lies first. That's not what it looks like. I stopped by for one drink. Just to relax after work. I tilted my head. One drink. You're dancing. She flushed. Okay, I was there longer. But it wasn't a big deal. I didn't want to disappoint you, so I said I was working. I let the silence stretch. She squirmed under it, tucking her hair behind her ear, her breathing shallow. Finally, I said, do you understand what that looks like from my side? I trusted you. I sat at home waiting, thinking you were breaking your back at work, when really you were out having fun. Do you know how small that makes me feel? Her eyes welled up. She leaned forward, her hands clasped like she was praying. I'm sorry. I didn't think it mattered. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to have a night to myself. That's not a night to yourself, I said quietly. That's a night you lied about. There's a difference. She tried again, reaching for my hand. It was just one time. I promise. Please don't throw everything away over this. And for a moment, I almost softened. 3 years is a long time. We had history, laughter, memories that still felt warm when I thought about them. But then I pictured her twirling in the bar, carefree, while I sat alone believing a story she'd crafted for me. And the calm returned. I pulled my hand back. It's not about Thursday. It's about trust. And I don't think I can believe you anymore. Her face crumpled. She started crying. Loud, messy, desperate tears. She begged, swore it was harmless, said she loved me, said she didn't mean it. But none of it landed. Not anymore. I stood up, my voice steady. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to make a scene. But this is the end. I deserve someone who doesn't have to lie to go out dancing. She looked up at me, mascara streaking down her cheeks. You're really leaving me over this? I nodded. No. You left the moment you decided to tell me you were working when you weren't. I'm just catching up. And with that, I went to the bedroom, pulled out a suitcase, and started folding clothes. She followed me, still crying, still pleading, but I didn't stop. The calm stayed with me, like armor. For once, I wasn't the one left in the dark. I had seen the truth, and the truth was enough. By the time the sun came up, I was gone. And as I drove away, watching the familiar streets blur in my rearview mirror, I realized something. It wasn't heartbreak I felt. It was relief.